For our next caption contest, I picked this image that I took when I was reorganizing books on my shelves, and they were scattered all over the place in our bedroom slash library, and people had quite a few good quips and comments to leave, so we are going to jump right into the captions. Now, first of all, some people threw poor Sassy underneath the bus. And this is from a time when Sassy was still alive, but she was definitely not responsible for the mess. We see Alexander and Learning with Harry saying, "Note to self, don't allow cats near bookcases," and "that darn cat." No, it was not Sassy, it was all me. So here's my favorite one, and it's a great quip, a great joke, because it doesn't completely map onto things. Mirthquake. It's a cool word, and I think there's kind of an interesting idea, like, happiness somehow knocked everything off the shelves. So that's a good one. Here's another good one. This is your brain on philosophy. I think everybody remembers those old advertisements where it showed like an egg cooking in a pan. This is your brain on drugs. So this is your brain on philosophy, books strewn all over the place. And then there were a couple that have to do with organization. So this one by KR, reorganizing shelves so all the spines are visible. Yes, I think that could be done, right? And sometimes I shove books back onto the shelf and I'm not paying close attention to whether they are visible or not. Then we have a longer one here by Virginia Charlotte. The philosophy of sorting. Chronology of publication, Dewey Decimal, author surname, spine height, paperbacks versus hardbacks, date of acquisition, hang it all, maybe rainbow color. And actually, I don't use really any of those. Some of the books are arranged chronologically in terms of like period, ancient, medieval, Renaissance, early modern, later modern, and in terms of like who came when, but sometimes there's less organization to it as well. Now we start getting into what I take to be Hegel references, although, of course, given that phenomenology is used by a lot of people, this could be more like Merleau-Ponty or whoever. Kiwick says, phenomenology of Gregory's messy bookshelves, and it is indeed a phenomenology since you're getting a look at something and getting to linger over it, right? Here's another one, clearly another Hegel reference. The outer is not always an expression of the inner, like the skull doesn't represent the brain, the organization or lack thereof of books doesn't represent their content. Trivially true. As a matter of fact, looking at bookshelves, really, unless you know what's in the books already, doesn't tell you anything about the content, does it? Sometimes people even have fake bookshelves, don't they? Here's another one. If Hegel is on one side, oftentimes we picture Deleuze as being on a different side, although they actually kind of have some things in common. La Creatura says, when Deleuze orders your bookshelf, in parentheses, it's a rhizome. So, rhizomes are one of Deleuze and Guattari's key ideas. As a matter of fact, sometimes that's all that people take from Deleuze. Everything becomes a rhizome. So a rhizome is kind of a connected mess, you could say, and that works. Here's the next one. When the search for being ends in the disaster of having to clean up your mess. A little bit harder to pin to any particular philosopher since so many of them do talk about being. The search for being sounds rather existentialist, and cleaning up your mess is something that we all have to do. Then, this is an interesting one, and it's going to lead us into several others. From Stino, when you know that you're right about something, but you can't remember where you read it from. And I will admit that I often do take books off of the shelf looking for something in particular and then forget to put them back on the shelf. That table that you see in the picture is a frequent staging area for books, and there were quite a few other ones along similar lines, so I wanted to put them in here as, you might call them runners-up. Derek London, for fuck's sake, I know Voltaire's Candide is in here somewhere. Sid, I think I lost my St. Anselm again. RLS, I'm not even going to try to read the rest. Me when I can't find Zarathustra's abysmal thought. And then Zeitgeist, me tearing through the Barnes and Noble philosophy section to find a single primary source. I guess this is a common thing. People looking for a particular book and not often finding it. And then finally, this is another great one. My second favorite one from Bookish Brendan. Her, you have protection, right? You, hold on. And what's the idea there? Obviously, there's no condom in the books, but walking into a place like that should probably turn people off from wanting to have sex with you. And, unless they're into messy books strewn all over the floor themselves, which I suppose could be a possibility. So those are the roundup of what I consider to be the best captions. If you want to get in on another one of these contests, you just have to wait a little while in my YouTube channel, and you probably want to turn on notifications for posts if you don't already have it on. Some people say, oh, I missed this. Well, you gotta set yourself up for success in that way. So we'll have more of these coming down the pike. Thanks to everybody who contributed, and I hope that you enjoy this.